Welcome back to the Tydirium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for November 28th, 2021. And we've got some great stuff going on with TFCon San Diego. We've got some reveals going on there with Flames toys. We also have some great stuff going on in the Masterpiece run. We've got stuff going on in Legends, Mainline. We also have some interesting stuff going on with Super7 ThunderCats, the Series 2, or more series to that. We also have McFarlane and another set of their Batman figures for the 1966, which I just reviewed. And of course, I ran out of budget for a celebrity intro because I tried to get Doc Brown on here. He thinks I've got a flux capacitor. He thinks I'm going back in time to 1985 to buy these toys, but I'm buying them now. Anyway, we're going to talk about all this new stuff coming up. Alright, first off, starting out, some interesting stuff at Show Z. This is the SY01 upgrade kit for Deformation Space DSO1 Starscream. They also have a blue version for their Thundercracker. And this is basically a back clip. We'll clip onto the back to kind of cover up those flaps and unsightliness and make it look perfect. So it was near perfect. This would make it look perfect. Very interesting, very amazing. I pre-ordered all these because I'm in on the Deformation Space. $20 per upgrade kit. They've also got pre-orders up for the McFans Toys MF54 Microscope Perceptor. This is the KO oversized version of the Magic Square, which is sold out everywhere that I look. And now this is probably the only way to get this mold, but it's going to be a little bit bigger, and there's going to be more to come on this when we talk about it in the Legends section. But it's $35 and pre-orders are up right now. And I was kind of surprised to see some SH Figuarts incoming at Show Z, but this is Jango Fett for $48.99, so a little under $50. And they also have a few others. They've got a Kylo Ren, they've got a Captain Phasma, they've got a First Order Trooper. But out of all of them, I think this one takes the cake. It looks amazing. I'm really, really tempted. But $50 for basically a Black Series version figure, but way better. So first off, talking about Masterpiece, we have the Skids and Reboost from Takara. They should be shipping in December, this month. One thing about Takara is that they usually do hit their expected ship dates, and so that's a good thing. Looking at these, they look pretty good. They should be easier to transform than some of their other past iterations of Masterpiece Transformers, because that's the direction that they're going, or at least with these specifically. Now, looking at them, I think they do look great. Let's go ahead and see what they look like in their alt modes, and in their alt modes, they look pretty good also. So, pretty interesting that these are coming soon. This is going to be the next big buzz. You're going to see a lot of people talking about this, so that's kind of why this is coming out soon, so it's going to be a buzz, and a lot of people talk about it. Let's see what it looks like next to this picture. Now, this is the Precious picture. If you know what Precious is, you know, that's Precious. But looking at this, where have we come from back in the day? And yeah, it does look better. But this figure actually did kind of look pretty good back in the day. And a lot of people say that the Takara is toy-based, X-Transbots is toon-based. So we'll be seeing a lot of those comparisons coming up. Here's the Reboost box packaging image. I don't know what the Starscream thing is right there, but it's interesting. City. It is C-I-T-Y. I don't know what that's all about, but still, there's the packaging. Looks pretty interesting. Looks pretty cool. And I think I'm just going to pick up their Reboost and compare that to the X-Transbots, because I don't think I really need that many versions of the same character. The Skids. Skids is a very obscure character in my opinion. So we did see some pictures of the Flames Toys Curry Starscream. Now this thing does look pretty interesting. It is again, they do a stylized take on the G1-ish characters, and it looks pretty good. And they go for some decent money, and it's a pretty nice looking one here. But I want to say that Flames Toys was the only one at this San Diego Comic-Con, so let's go ahead and take a look at those. So this is their model kit that they're trying to penetrate the lower price market by you having to put this figure together. And she does look pretty good. Now this is the gray prototype, which a lot of people were speculating you have to paint these. I think they're going to come pre-painted and all that, but still I don't see the evidence of this. Well, maybe the evidence of this is back in the back with the wind blade, but looking at her, she does look great, and this, in my opinion, is the way to get a great looking RC. She doesn't transform. And there are going to be a handful of characters that you will probably accept in your display, masterpiece display, that will not transform because it doesn't really work for this character. Here's their Shockwave 2, and this thing looks super clean. I really do kind of like the way this thing looks. It is a bit stylized still, but it does have a really super clean look. And so it's a model kit, so that means you build it, but it does look like there's a lot less you have to do with this than the RC, but that might just be the perspective. The smoother look to this, they might have the same part count, and all the parts are just smooth on this and not smooth on the RC. Here's the Ramen model kit that's been in production for a little bit longer, so there it shows painted. So I really think all these will be painted, but I heard somebody saying that some of them won't. I disagree with that, but I really think we need to know 100% before we buy them. And yeah, this thing looks pretty good for a Rodimus, non-transforming, and a bit stylized. I'm still going to stick with my Takara though. So we got more pictures of the Moon Studio MS-03 Iron Arm G1 Shuki and the MS-04 Moon Shine, or the G1 Kane. And these are prototype images. They look pretty good. And there they are in the bot mode. I have to say that Zeta, or Moon Studio, upped the game since their other combiners in the Masterpiece realm. And these look really good. Really good in bot mode, really good in alt mode. And of course, Zeta has always done good in combine mode. Here we go with the train set, and they look like really good trains. Now, one of the things that's different about this than you're going to see with the Takara trains are much longer and are a little bit more accurate to reality from what I'm being told. So, looking at this, still looks pretty good, and yes, Lego tracks that they're using. Getting into this here, we have the combined mode, so you can kind of see what they're going to be forming in there, and it's still kind of exciting. It's pretty exciting seeing this thing come together. I did back out on the set because I didn't really have the $600 to drop on it, but I'm kind of wanting to get back into it simply because they look so good. Even though I have no connection to the character, I think they look good, and good-looking robots, well, it's easy to sell. Alright, so here we go with some Banana Force going on right here. And this is going to be the Banana Force LTD MPL04 Predator Orion. And the thing about this is that this is more or less a repaint, reissue of what they put out before, and this is kind of the packaging of the accessories. Here we go into the actual bot, and it looks really good. I think this thing is pretty solid looking figure. It is, again, a slight bit stylized, but really more or less pretty true to form. So it looks good, does not transform, and I hear a lot of good things about Banana Force, and I don't know how the QC is on these, but they are, in my understanding, a pretty sturdy build. Now, these are still on pre-order at Show Z, so I checked to see if they're released yet, and I don't know exactly where people are getting them from, but they're coming soon. So, very soon, if you have them on pre-order, start looking for those pre-order notices, arrival notices, and start getting ready to pay for this bad boy. We got another picture of the MMC from Hard Return. This is their version. It's the RMX11 and Steeljaw. I am looking forward to this thing, and I also pre-ordered the new KFC version. I want to see the old KFC, new KFC, and then of course this is going to be in its own class because it's so much bigger. And I actually think it's more accurate to scale in my mind, but some people don't agree with that. But I am all in on the MNC cassettes. Bring them all on. I'm going to get every one of them. But I haven't found these up for pre-order anywhere just yet. But yet people keep popping up with pictures of them. I think Pake did a review. So we've got an upgrade kit for Shockwaves. And this is in the Masterpiece realm, by the way, by Hafiz Zul, HAFIZZUL, on Facebook. And I think this is not just 3D printed, so this is a pretty solid run here. So you're getting feet and add-on kits, and then a smoke for your Shockwave. So if you have the Masterpiece Shockwave, and it doesn't really matter if you have the Lavender Wave or the vastly superior plus version that is the correct color in my mind, you get this smoking gun, you get some blast effects, and you get new feet. If you look at the left in the skinny little feet, that always kind of bothered me, and now you get real feet, and it looks more tune accurate. So Takara still is the most tune accurate, but these feet just make it that much more tune accurate. Looks really good in my opinion. And then you can kind of see right here you have a blast effect and you have a smoking gun. So either it's shooting or it's just shot and it's smoking. Really cool effects, and in my mind I never would have thought to make a smoking gun blast effect, but it looks so cool. Anyway, this is it right here if you're looking at the Fans Toys version. So you gotta pick set B is for the Fans Toys, set A is for Takara, and if you have your Fans Toys and you're not happy with the Fans Toys feet, then, well, there you go. I don't have the Fans Toys one, so I don't have the problem, but I still can say I would like better feet on my Takara. Here it is if you have the Purple Potato version, and this one here, it doesn't have new feet. It just has some blast effects, so if you want to go that route, you can get set C. And here is the Lavender Wave next to the Fans Toys version, and showing off the new feet. So you can see the new feet on both of these guys side by side. For whatever reason, they're just having a lot of fun with their pictures and a lot of fun with their product. So I guess you visit their page to buy it. So getting into some legends, we're seeing some pictures of completed Superions out there from Zeta Toys, and I gotta say I'm a little jealous because I have the Zeta Toys Masterpiece and I love it. I love it. But I think that this is actually better than the Masterpiece. That really kind of sucks that a Legends is going to be better than the Masterpiece. But then again, if you keep doing what you do best over and over and over, and you get better at it, right? So why would you continue making stuff exactly the same if you know you could do it better? But will we get a Masterpiece version like this? Probably not, because you have to retool it. So anyway, looking at it, this is it next to the Magic Square version of Minosaur, taking on arch rivals, and lots of fun right there. Here it is, and this close-up shot, the reason this is important is because you can see the massive amounts of paint, and I didn't realize that Zeta was going to paint theirs so well because, well, there's not a lick of paint on mine. My Masterpiece doesn't have this paint on it, so why would the Legends have so much paint? But they do. So it is kind of justifying a little bit higher price point for a Legends figure because they have so much paint. It looks very nice, in my opinion. And here it is in alt mode. So you get the alt modes right there, and then of course in the back you've got, of course, the parts forming parts chilling in the background, because what else you can do with them, you know? But that's what we accept. It makes these combiners so much better, and of course G1 parts formed, right? And then here they are in bot mode looking at their parts to parts form. I was like, hey, let's combine using that. Good idea. So interesting, and I think they all sort of kind of clip together. I don't really know, but I think it all kind of clips together so you can set it aside when you're not using it. But I'm going to tell you, if I get a combiner, my combiners are all going to be in combine mode. They're not going to be separated. So we're going to talk a little more about this microscope from McFarlane Toys, which is just a KO oversized version of the Magic Square, but Magic Square is sold out. Now I have the Magic Square one, I have this one on pre-order, and I look forward to this one because I like my bots a little bit bigger, you know. I like big bots, and I cannot lie. And so for that, I don't know if they've done anything different. When I review it and discuss it, I'm going to tell you if there's something different. Now, they have this third mode that I did not realize was a real thing back in the day or whatever, but you know, it's funny because nobody ever talked about it in the 80s, and nobody talked about it until like last year, that there's a third mode for Perceptor, but I guess there is a third mode for Perceptor. Here he is in his actual microscope mode, and it looks pretty good. So to me it looks exactly the same as the Magic Square, but I bet the colors of the red, the colors of the blue, they're going to be slightly different, and it's going to be like, I don't know, 7% bigger. It's not even much of a difference in size, but Magic Square is sold out everywhere I checked, so this is your only option, and then this will sell out, and there'll be no option. Alright, so getting into some mainline stuff, I did do a road trip this past week. Now, I have done way less road trips in 2021 than 2020 because the artificial increase in the gas prices is really kicking into my budget and canceling a lot of my trips. So I don't know how much worse it's going to get in 2022, but I really kind of hope that we can ease off this artificial gas price increase and let us have a little more disposable income. But getting into this, my son actually wants to do more road trips and do some videos showing toy hunts, and he wants to name it something called Collector Friend Zone. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. But getting into this, I'm seeing a few things at retail all around a couple of states here, and what I've seen is that we do not see a lot of sales of the Beast Wars. The Beast Wars reissues kind of sit. They're everywhere. Almost every Walmart I've been in has every single one of them, if not 6, 10, or 12. And I'm also seeing that Galvatron's showing up. But Galvatron's showing up and selling. He's not showing up and sitting. But every single box has been a little beat up. I do not understand why every Galvatron box I find is beat up. The one I bought was the best. And it's not good. And it bothers me because I might not open them. But anyway, looking at all this, there are a lot of things going on out there, and there's a lot of stuff showing up. So this end cap I found just blew me away. I could not fathom how many Dinobots were on here. Now, they're all the Slags, and so it looks amazing. That's a nice looking figure. So I thought it was going to be really hard to find, and here we go. Just not only is this end cap stacked with them, but the actual section had about another 6 or 8 of them. It was just astonishing how many were out there. And I'm sitting here thinking that, I only seen a couple on shelves until I saw this Walmart, and I was like, wow, what did they get, like 60 cases? And since I'm not really doing toy hunt videos right now, but I kind of want to do a couple of them, I don't snap as many pictures or any video at all, really. And I probably will do that in the future since I'm only going to go on a few next year. This is interesting what's showing up. Now, on the left, we see Jazz, and it was on half price at the Big Lots so it was $11.50. And then what showed up shortly after that's the Megatron, and he's getting the redigitized Megatron look to him. And then below that, I found at Comic Shop. So everything else in here was at comic shops. For comic shops doing some Black Friday sales, 25% off and all that kind of stuff. So kind of got steals and deals on these. But if you look, you can see that the Runamuck is actually harder to find than the Target exclusive version, the Runabout. And then you look at this new wave of Reaction. Reaction is really shutting down. The waves went from big to small to almost 4 figures. 4 figures in the wave. And most of them are reissues aside from 2. So you got to chase him down in Galvatron. And then, since I'm not really doing a Joe segment, we've got Duke. I finally tracked down a Duke that didn't have... It's a recolor. It's the reissue recolor. Hard to find. Okay, so Dracula is showing up at Targets. This is the collab with Transformers and the Monsters. And I actually came across a case on the pallet, and the guy didn't put it out because he said it didn't have a place for it. He didn't know where to put it. And I went to, I grabbed one to go check out. Okay, grabbed 2 to go check out, and they wouldn't sell it to me until the 28th. So today is the day. I guess I go back and try to acquire this item or just live without. It's kind of I could take it or I could leave it, but it really is kind of cool with that Softgoods cave. So if you've got an Ollie's near you, then there's this Transformer. Now, I know a lot of people don't have an Ollie's near them. Kind of like me getting irritated because I don't have a bargain hunt near me. And I really want to go to a bargain hunt. And I want to get these bargain Joes. But looking at this, this is a Megatron. And I think they call it, I had to actually look it up. They call this the Combat Megatron. And it's this green one. I think that's what's in there. So I'm not 100% sure because I didn't buy one. But instead of 30, they're 20, and I think they had like 15 of these. But I passed on it. I might get it. I don't know. I think this is the Siege mold, but I was kind of hoping for the G2 version or something else. But if this is for you and you want this for 20 bucks, go to your Ollie's. So we got some pictures of Shockwave Studio Series Shockwave here, and if you have morals or ethics and you don't like how these are acquired, well, this is the core class version. I don't know how it was acquired, so I have no idea. Anyway, it looks really interesting as a core class, and I would like it to turn into a gun, so I don't even care about whatever nonsense alt mode that they've created out of thin air to turn this guy into. I would like it to turn into a gun, and I would like to see... Anyways, if anybody figures out how to turn this into a gun, I'm going to show this off first. I mean, just right away, because that'd be a lot of fun. We also get some Voyager Bumblebee movie Studio Series Soundwave. Okay, so this is how he looks with Ravage, and that's great. I think Ravage might be included, so I hope he is. If so, I'm all over this. I'm all over this anyway because I'm a Soundwave fan, and Soundwave is in my top 3 and rotates around. Sometimes he's number 1. Here he is with Ravage in his chest, and yes, he turns into a cube and goes into his chest, so I'm wondering if all these other, like 52 Toys cubes will fit in Soundwave's chest, and then you can have a whole group of Soundwave minions that fit in his chest. Anyway, here's the Ravage, and of course, it's a Ravage, so I gotta add it to my collection of Ravage, no matter what. No matter the cost. But it's interesting. I don't think it's the best Ravage that was ever made, but I think it's better than the last layup that they threw out for Ravage. So, yeah, pretty good. And staying in the same lane with figures that just show up magically out of thin air, we have the Studio Series 86, and this is the Leader Class Coronation Starscream, and looks pretty decent. So it's odd. The colors are different than the standard release, and it has a lot of accessories. And I'm thinking that it really does have 2 sets of the Null Rays. And I did watch the chef's. I watched the whole chef review on this, and he did a pretty good job. I gotta admit, he did a good job reviewing it and showing the differences between the 2 bots. So, you know, no lie on that. Looks good. And I don't know, is it worth 50 bucks? Is $20 for a throne, an extra set of Null Rays, the shoulder pieces, the cape, and the crown? That's what you're paying 20 bucks for? I don't know. It might actually be worth it down the road. Looking at this side by side, I think the left is the new one and the right is the old one, if I am correct. So I watched the video and I think that's what Chef said. So looking at this side by side, they look good. Thanks, Chefitron. Great review. Alright, so we got pictures of the Transformers Golden Disc Collection Jackpot with sights, and this is kind of a retool of Jazz and looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. They got to come up with some reason to use that mold over and over, and it's gonna be hard, really. I mean, unless they do it the exhaust. I don't think they're gonna do exhaust. So anyway, looking at this, pretty cool, and everything in here is pretty much a retool and all that good stuff, and it comes with some different packaging and all that. Let's see the alt mode. Here it is, the alt mode, and it looks pretty good. It looks like Jazz recolored, but interesting. And if you're in for those weird, obscure kind of things, this is for you. So I got a handful of things I need to go over real quick before we get into Star Wars, and this is Super 7 with their next wave. I keep saying wave 2. They have more than one wave already in the works, and I keep saying wave 2. So I don't know what wave it is, but they have this mirror version, alternate version of Lion-O in red. They have in the front there, that is Bengali, which is, by the way, a hard figure to find complete on the secondary market for vintage, and I think it'd make a great replacement. If you don't want to pony up 250 or 300 bucks for a complete Bengali, buy this guy for 50. I mean, that 55. That makes sense to me, and that's really what got me into this, was the ridiculously stupid high prices. You also have Vulture-Man on the right, and then, well, I forgot what the guy in the back is, Thunderfist or something like that in the back, but anyhow, this new wave, I pre-ordered all of them except the red Lion-O. I might regret not getting that guy. And on the seat of the pants, pun intended, of my review on Wednesday of the entire toy line. And yes, I was rushing to get on the road with my son and do a road trip because we put it off for 3 weeks because of the gas price and all that. I did not talk about Joker. I have a whole segment. I might have to air that. I've kept that file so that down the road maybe I could use it again, but I didn't do the Joker in there. I messed up at 80. McFarlane is coming out with new figures. I really, really like the Riddler. And the other two with the weird surf pants, not for me. But I'll probably pick them up. But I don't really care. But I want to say something that Analog Toys, Tony came out bashing the toy line. This is a budget toy line, and they look great. If you were to add in 27 points of articulation, they would look like crap. They would just look like garbage on your shelf, no matter what position you put them in. So, do you want garbage-looking 27 seam lines, or do you want this? I want this. I'm very happy with it, and I'm going after the Riddler and any other figure they make, and probably the goofy surf pants guys. So Ramen Toys is shipping their 80s Commanders. Yes, they are. I'm excited, super excited, because these are modern Centurions. We haven't had modern Centurions in a long time. They look great. This is the packaging shots. These are the ones they personally sent me. So I'm really happy about these packaging shots. I'm sure they sent these out to other people too, but I am just stoked. And I asked about 30 questions, and I got 8 replied, and then the rest were more or less, we're not ready for that yet, I guess. But one of the things I want to point out is that they are moving on to the Silverhawks next. And they are not abandoning the 80s Commanders, but they're focusing on Silverhawks. They're going to come back to it with some weapon systems. But I wanted to find out, will you include a figure with the weapon system? Will the weapon systems come as all the weapon systems for 80s Commanders, all that kind of stuff? They haven't figured out exactly how they're going to tackle it, but they have a lot of ideas. And so for that, I'm excited for this line, because it's not over. It is just the genesis of the line. And then getting into the Silverhawks, there's one more caveat they shared with me, which I think is really powerful. So they're talking about the early bird pricing, and if you were in on the early birds with the Centurions, then you're going to get early bird pricing with these. Now, I don't know if other people that are say, hey, I'm in on early bird with you, will you get early bird also pricing? But they did mention something about early bird pricing with the Silverhawks, and so I'm, that got me in on it. Like, I'm excited for the Silverhawks with them, and looking forward to that, and looking forward to the next step with Ramen Toys. I think they can do a lot of great things, because they're doing great things now, and they're going to do great things for many, many years to come. All right, so getting into Star Wars, I have to tell you that the only reason I even collect toys is because of Star Wars. Star Wars got me into collecting toys. I wouldn't talk about Transformers. I wouldn't be talking about 80s Commanders. I wouldn't be talking about any of this stuff if it wasn't for Star Wars drawing me into collecting, and then I realized I like everything. So getting into it, I want to say that Rancor probably won't fund. They've lost 300 since last week when they did their Friday live stream, and they showed that they just don't care about it at all. The tiers were terrible, but the Rancor itself looks amazing. It looks beautiful, but it's a $250 Rancor, and it should be released at retail at $250, not $350 through HasLab with $20 worth of crap extra. See, people don't want what they already have through HasLab. HasLab is dream projects that would never get realized. First off, there are 5 other versions of the Rancor existing right now. I have one in my attic. I'm not going to lie to you that I just don't care about the one in my attic, but it's fine. I have 3 vintage ones, so there's so many other versions of Rancor, you can just get another Rancor. But with this, you could technically use this for both Black Series and Vintage Collection, because Rancor characters, or the Rancor monsters, exist in different sizes and different scales, and according to Hasbro, since they've made so many different repaints, in different colors. Alright, so looking at what's going on with the new wave is showing up at Target. I can't wait. I can't wait. But they no Target in the world ever got the wave with the tech in it from what I saw. So it's time for them to do some payoffs with all of these. So what we're seeing right here is we're getting this Stormtrooper, we're getting this Leia, Ceremony Leia, we're getting the Ponda Baba from that $105 set with the Cantina, and we're getting Pinnock Shan, is that her name? And then, so looking at all these, I'm most excited about all of these original trilogy characters in this wave. This is exciting. Yes, give me Bib Fortuna. Yes, give me Dr. Evazan. Yes, give me Ponda Baba. Yes, give me all of those. I'm really excited for them. I'm getting every one of those when I see them. This whole wave looks pretty good. Mayfield. So Bandai is coming out with 2 new figures. They're probably going to hit sometime in 2022. And this is the Jedi Luke, which looks great. They've already made a Jedi Luke. This is a new Jedi Luke, kind of like HasLab is doing. And we're also going to get a Moff Gideon. Now, I think Moff Gideon is an excellent character. The actor portrayed him very well and really works as kind of a reminiscent to Darth Vader in a way. So I think it's excellent. These figures are great. Now that Show Z is carrying them, I'm going to wait till they come in Show Z. I'm all about that. And Walmart's having a sale, Black Friday sale, whatever you want to call it. But they have this Crosshairs in stock. $25, so that's not a sale. But what else is on sale? Well, they have a bunch of stuff going on with Vintage Collection. So Vintage Collection Indoor Luke is $10.49. Vintage Collection Death Star Droid is $10.49. And it looks like the carbonized characters they're putting up, which are now $14 instead of $18, which I do not like the carbonized pricing. And I've tapped out of that because of the pricing. But there's some sales going on at Walmart.com right now. I think it only goes through Sunday. So, and I don't think this figure is going to last because Crosshairs is wanted by a lot of people. But anyway, there you go. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. What else is going on out there that is really awesome? Because I want to know, did I miss something in the Transformers world that's really great? Or was this a week to you? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Titanium Hanger out.